Market conditions remaining bullish in this bull market. We're sitting currently at a bull market rank of 23.78, which is this line right here. So we're at the upper end of the trending range. We've also seen a nice spike in momentum all the way up to the extreme range currently as of yesterday. We didn't see much movement in breadth. That's been really the one thing that has not participated in this uptrend is a majority of stocks in most indices and sectors as well. Sentiment also towards the upper end of that range. Let's take a look here also at this sentiment chart, which is towards the upper end of the range here. We're seeing now we've spiked up into that 88 range. That's on S&P 500. If we look at NASDAQ, we're already up there into that 91 range. So we're seeing on both the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ, historically, if we look at this 3-year time frame on this NASDAQ chart, that we're back up into this range, really as high as it's been now in these last 2 rallies. You can see they got up into that upper range, but once markets get up into this area, they just it's really tough for them to continue within the overall trend unless they have some kind of a retracement. So certainly an area to be aware of. We're also seeing buy-sell ratio, which is quite weak. As we've been talking about, the markets are really being pulled higher by a handful of names. Ultimately, it's the big tech names that are pulling the market higher right here. So certainly an area of some caution, but at the same time, we're just seeing that AI move pulling stocks and anticipation of interest rates continuing to drop. We've seen the TLT, which is that long-term bond, moving higher here in the last few months. We're still in that overall downtrend on that 6-month time frame, but working our way higher. We're clearing each of these support areas and starting to work our way back to that upside, which is what ultimately the markets want to see, is bonds moving higher. That means interest rates moving lower. We've seen that on the long-term bond and also the short-term bond as well. We've also seen sectors which are actually really quite weak across the board. You can see we've got almost every sector in downtrends except for a handful, except for services, consumer services, technology, and some healthcare in there. Real estate trying to pull a little bit higher as interest rates may be starting to move back down. We've seen a commodity boom. Oil typically has a run here in the summertime, seeing it now work its way back up into that upper trend. It's had a nice straight shot off that bottom area. Now see if it maintains some support up above this $77 range, if it can clear back up above that. But a strong momentum move here in oil. It's got some work to do to get back up above that 236, but oil heading in that direction. Silver and gold both still retracing, working on these counter trend moves. Nothing really interesting the last day or two there as well. Muscle stock group, some nice names in here as well. We've got SMCI, we've got microchips that are starting to come back again. SMCI had a massive run here earlier in the year, retraced a lot of that, and is now finding some support right around that $780 range, $800, and looking for some support there. If you're interested in SMCI or have been waiting for this pullback to take place, a potential opportunity here in SMCI. Also, CLS, which has been a really nice mover this year, back up into that momentum zone, and a really nice looking group of stocks in that new buy list for today. Keep an eye on market conditions, though, as far as this overall uptrend, this momentum spike here. When we see this momentum spikes and this breadth is not participating, you can see that spike. That's a lot. Oftentimes when we do see kind of a final spike on a market top, it is led by volume. We'll probably see some divergence where we'll see maybe a new price high, some retracement, and then another high as this starts to work its way back down again. And that's going to be really what we're focusing on and paying attention to at these levels are pullbacks, retracement, where are the support, because we don't have really large confirmation in the overall market as a whole. Lots of stocks that are in downtrends. We'll have to be very selective going forward. That'll do it for today's update. Everyone have a fantastic day today.